The NDIS is a Labor initiative. It stems from the Gillard years, as you know. It's been backed all along by the coalition. But right from the start, it looked like it would turn into a spending nightmare because it's a big government approach. We all want to support people with disabilities, of course, but this is all about how you do that and whether there are perverse incentives in the NDIS for clients and for service providers. Before the election, Labor said they had it all covered.
But what we won't do is pick on kids with autism and say, I'm sorry, you only get a few hours a year of early childhood intervention.
There's plenty of problems with the system which are well documented. We don't need another review. We just need the government to say, OK, here's the chequebook. We're going to work through the issues with families, full stop.
Well, it seems he did hand out the chequebook. The way it's going, the NDIS will soon take up a bigger share of the budget than our defence. The Financial Review reported this week that the cost of the NDIS is growing at a faster rate than any other area of spending outside of interest on the national debt. Analysis shows that over the 4-year forward estimates, funding is $5.7 billion short, even though for this financial year alone, the NDIS budget is $34 billion. Now, this is alarming stuff. The costs could overwhelm future budgets. In November, the NDIS Financial Sustainability Report said the annual cost of the scheme will hit $89.4 billion in 2032. With more than 1 million Australians expected to be on the program. There's already well over 500,000 people on the program, and about 6,000 people are being signed up to the NDIS every month. That's 200 people every day. Reports have relayed how children are no longer being diagnosed with low-level autism because it doesn't qualify for NDIS funding. And some providers are charging $5,000 for an autism diagnosis to guarantee funding at the higher level there for life. About 10% of 5- and 6-year-old boys now are on the NDIS. Now, we've discussed this previously on the program with our experts.
The systems and incentives are now geared that schools, parents, doctors, even state hospital departments are all trying to get NDIS funding and move them towards NDIS funding.
I run a clinic in Sydney where we assess and diagnose autism with children, right? And there's huge pressure on clinicians, not just to diagnose, but when we diagnose autism with children, we have to specify a level, right? 1, 2 or 3. And NDIS only covers 2 or 3. They're the more kind of severe cases of autism. Well, since the NDIS came in, I have not seen one child diagnosed ever with level 1 autism. It just doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so if I was to diagnose a child with level 1 autism, I'd have parents in uproar saying, well, that's not going to do anything. We need level 2 or 3.
Yeah, this is a massive social, health, budgetary and political issue, and it's only getting worse by the day. Labor's pre-election naivety is exposed.
Will an NDIS under Labor cost a bit more? Will you put billions more into it?
No, the money's there. We don't see the need to spend an extra dollar in terms of what's already been allocated. No, there's never a sentence that they ever say in Canberra about the NDIS where the government coalition ministers don't complain about how expensive it is. The reality is they're just incompetent managers. You don't need more money, but the current government have been very poor managers of this scheme.
Yeah, no more money needed for the NDIS, hey? Obviously, we need to add this one to our list of broken Labor Party promises. But now they need to fix the system, of course.